Hey, everybody. Welcome to yet another episode. This is episode 31 of Talk Social News, Jonathan Tripp Live. And I want to say thank you guys. Welcome for joining us this morning. As we do this as a live show, we do this every week, almost without fail. No, sometimes, honestly, let's just be real honest. Life gets in the way, and we have to do a show another time. But you guys always come back, and I really got to say thank you. I really do appreciate it. Hey, today we're going to be talking about something that I think a lot of people want to talk about, but they don't know how to talk about. We're going to talk about strategy versus content, or actually, it's strategy or content. Which one comes first? And I want to share with you some of the changing demographics, some of the changing landscapes of it all, and the reasons why I think you need to pay attention to it, especially these days. And maybe it's going to change how you do things. But if you would, do me a real quick favor. Would you guys share this out? Just share the show out. If you're on Periscope, guys, welcome. It's good to see you. I actually do have a full screen up for Periscope because the comments are so small and my eyes don't really read small comments really well anymore. I don't know why. But if you're watching there, just tweet it out on just share it with your followers. I'd appreciate it. If you guys are watching us on Facebook, and guys, I do see you. I see Lindsay. I see Terry. Who else do I see? I think I see Kim and Stephanie. Guys, thank you so much for watching us this morning. Will you just share that out, because I hope we're gonna have some fun. But in the meantime, guess what? We're gonna be getting this going, and just to give you about 30 seconds to share. Go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our show. This is episode 31 of Talk Social News. Today we're going to be talking about strategy or content. Which ones comes first? And I want to give you guys a chance to, right off the bat, share it out if you haven't already. And we do take this out. We put this into a podcast. This is going to get split out this week, or this coming week, rather, on Anchor. And if you haven't already followed, you can go over there. Just look up Jonathan Tripp. We're going to be putting out some content. This last week's show was a little bit different, and we're going to kind of continue this trend of what you guys are looking for, and how you guys have asked for some different kind of content. And to be honest, it makes it a little fun. It puts a little challenge. Come up with some of the content, but because it's audio, because we do have the audio component as well as just the live video content component. It's a fun chance for us to be able to share this out. So having said that, guys, I do want to welcome you to the show. Guys, thank you for being here. If you would, make sure you guys stick around. Because even though it's going to be a shorter show, at the end of the show, as every week, we do have an after chat. And this week, we're going to be doing something a little bit different with our after chat. David Vaughn's going to be hosting it for us. I will drop the link, but I think, hold on, I think I can tell you that the link is, and if I can get my act together, we're going to be putting the after show link in the comments, and it's going to be something like afterchat.davidvaughn.live or something like .com or something. So, but we'll get those in there, guys. Thank you. I already see you guys, a couple of you guys sharing this out, and if you guys are watching us on Periscope, thank you. All right, so this week, before I really kind of get into the main topics and the main the talky part of it all, I wanted to bring up and share with you guys, this literally has just been happening, that Facebook this past week just announced that it's going to be offering out and rolling out the Facebook, not fan pages, but show pages. And from what I understand, and kind of mum's the word on it, because I mean, some people do know, but they have those pesky NDAs that prevent them from actually talking about it ahead of time before public release. But basically, what we can kind of infer from all of the comments and from everything that's been out there is that it's going to look just like a fan page on the front end, but the back end is going to be a lot more a lot more geared towards the shows and those of you guys that do regular podcasts, regular shows. And you know what? I'd be really interested in the long term to see how you can have a show, but also then maybe have a fan page. So if you're if you have your own personal account or something like that, this is not going to be really for you. I think you're going to probably have to have a business account or a fan page. It's probably going to be linked through that way, because we've been seeing more and more Facebook linking. We're now linking groups. We're linking fan pages can now act as admins in groups, and now they're rolling out this part. So I'm actually really excited. I'd be very interested to see how this is actually going to work out, because who wouldn't want a fan page just for your show? I mean, come on. I mean, we've got fan pages for people. We've got fan pages for puppies. We've got fan pages for products. We've got fan pages. We've got fan pages for sock puppets, guys. So who wouldn't want a show page for all of those things? So I actually just wonder how this is really going to work out in the long run. I know you guys are, those that are watching this, you guys are faithful watchers, listeners/listeners. Some of you guys, I know this is just a tab off on as you're doing some other stuff. It's just a tab, and you guys get to hear this in the background. And one, I know who you are, and I appreciate it. So having said that, I think this is good. This is a very interesting move, because this is really actually going to put some of the pressure on YouTube, because now they're actually creating a separate, not a tier or a platform, but they're creating a separate way of seeing how that you can produce and promote your shows on Facebook. And that's honestly, I think that's just yet another way that Facebook is trying to provide more options for YouTube. But I think those that are really serious about YouTube, or serious particularly about video, I think YouTube is still hands down the way to go. If you're trying to create really good content out there, and I don't mean content for content's sake, because we're going to be talking about that today. I mean content on a place that's searchable, that's watchable. It's watchable both on the desktop and the mobile, and they provide a much better video experience. You guys are going to stick with YouTube for now, but maybe Facebook is going to get, maybe they're going to pull out all the stops for these. Maybe the watch pages are going to be the ones where you can broadcast in full HD, like they've been kind of putting out on different fan pages. Maybe this is going to be that next leap, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll see how that works. In other news, Snapchat continues to drop. It's like what, 14% drop in after hours trading. Now, why does that really actually matter to you? Unless you actually own Snapchat stock, it probably doesn't. But what it is, it's a signal that they're still losing cash, and that marketers, that owners are still worried that marketers are just not going to continue to use it, and that viewership is down. I mean, it's just like bad news after bad news after bad news. Now, is this maybe the time to buy? Maybe it is. I'm not a market analyst. I'm not going to tell you this is the time to buy or not. But I am going to say this: Snapchat better get it together, or they're going to be losing so many of their content creators and so many of their viewers. They got to put the kibosh on all this like spam snaps that I get every day. But because I want to be available, I want to be able to receive snaps, but I can't be. I don't. I'm tired of sorting through all of just the blanks snaps that are just out there just to keep the streaks going and things like this. Guys, it's ridiculous, and it's starting to make the platform unusable. So having said that, good luck with that. So those are really like the 2 or 3 things I wanted to talk about this week on Talk Social News, and I think really I think that really kind of sums up where video is starting to really head, live video particularly. I mean, there's lots of little nuances and things like this that are going on, and so you know what, I think this is going to be a couple of Anchor episodes, podcast episodes coming this week. So without too much more ado, guys, let's get into talking about the topic today, which is strategy or content, which comes first. And before that, I'm actually going to take a sip of coffee. Mugshot. All right. So, having said that, guys, I do want to say welcome, and I need to grab over a couple of these other. Okay, cool. I'm seeing all of you guys. Hey, Carlos. Hey, Catherine, Terry, Lindsay, Jessica, Stephanie. Guys, thank you for watching. I know Kim, you're kind of lurking in the background. Carlos, I want to say hi. Thank you for joining us. Donnie, I haven't seen you in a while. Great. Thanks for joining us again. And so let's see here. And Kim, thank you so much for the share out. I appreciate it. If you guys are watching, this is actually a really good chance. Let me tell you about a couple of things. One is Live Talk Nation. That is our Facebook Facebook group. This is an open community. It's always growing. I always want to say, if you want to refer someone into a group that's not spammy, that's got a variety of different kinds of people, it's always one where if you ask a question, people are ready to answer out. It's not one of those mega groups with like 20,000 people in it that's either a spam fest or nobody really connects. This is not that kind of a group. So if you haven't already, just look up Live Talk Nation. Or if you really want to, I think you can, if you go to livetalknation.com, it just forwards you to the group. And one of these days, I'll get like a lower third in there, so you guys will be able to just click on that or something like that. But livetalknation.com will get you over to the Facebook group. Join today. It's free, and we don't even sell you stuff. So I don't know. Maybe that's the real tie-in. All right. So guys, let's kind of get down into this. And this is, for podcast editing purposes, like this is the cut, right, guys? So this is not this. I want to put a new twist on a conversation that we have been having, and we've had in various forms or another for actually quite a while. Okay, and this is where we start to talk about, and one take on this, really, it's actually quite simple. And some people will say, well, this is, how do you put together a social media marketing plan? What's the strategy you have behind putting your content together? And to be honest, like, I'm bored with that. It's boring. Because, and I say it's only boring, not because it's not an interesting topic, it's just that so many people have talked about it that part is boring. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to kind of flip this, and I wanted to talk about this is the strategy or the content. Which one comes first? Because the problem with a lot of the internet space, the social media world that we're in, it's so full of content. It's actually hard to decipher great content from crap until you actually see it. Okay. And so this is going to be one of those really, really hard things to decipher, because it's one of those, you know it when you see it. All right. But when it comes to strategy or content, and I think if you guys know me, if you guys have ever talked with me, if you ever sat in a session with me or something like this, you guys know I personally go strategy before content, but not everybody does this. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. And it's actually really, really simple. It's because they are not really focused on the right aspect of what their content is. Okay. Because they're not thinking bigger goals. What they're thinking about is just the content to put out. They've gotten right to the fun part, which is the content creation. Okay, so now in this particular, when I put when I'm talking about this, and for those of you guys that are listening on audio, it's goals versus objectives. Okay, and that's really going to be the first step that I'm going to put you through. Okay, not strategy and content. We're going to get to that part, and you're going to see how it actually works out. But if you've sat with me, if you've ever sat with me before or ever talked with me, you know I emphasize strategy first over content. Okay, and here's the reason why. Because when we put over when we put out our content, and we are just making content to make content, we become very noisy, and all we're doing is just filling the space with more snaps, more tweets, more Instagrams, than what we really need to. And especially if you're in the live video arena, there's lots of ways to put yourself out there with live video and for it to completely fall flat. And people will lose their interest, and they see it. Oh, this is like, I remember him the last time. He was so boring. I can't even follow him. And we need to up the game. And I don't mean put movie production quality on content. I mean actually having a point to the content, not showing up every day and just doing, oh, it's like day number 47 of our new blog. right? No, but it comes down to something that's even bigger. And that's why I say goals versus, you have to understand your goals versus objectives, okay? So you need to know and understand what your goals are. What are your goals? And this could be a business goal, this could be a marketing goal, this could be, this could be, look, I want to go live and I want to get comfortable in front of a camera. And so the only way I'm going to do that is by going live. But I'm going to say this, when it comes to business and when it comes to your company, I think what you guys need to, what the coming trend is, I think what you really need to look at is what is the overall, what is the need? What is the need? Not think of, well, I would like 1,000, I'd like 1,000 subscribers on my email list by the end of the month or something like this, right? Or I just want people to know more, to have better brand recognition. I want them to understand that Jonathan Tripp does this and he goes there and does that stuff. Those are great, but guys, have some real goals. And I'm going to say have 2 main goals and have maybe 1 or 2 smaller goals. And by a goal, what I mean by that is really this is the, you don't define it yet. That's actually the next step. The goal that I want, I'm going to encourage you to establish, to set, is I want brand recognition. I want to establish an email list. I want to have better website traffic. Okay, and have these goals. I want to have more sales. We want to increase sales. Have the goals. All right. Once you have those, then you need to figure out, these are the objectives part. This is where, and you guys have heard these before. People will go, oh, this is the SMART, the SMART. That's how you're going to define your goal. So if you say, oh, look, I want to start implementing email marketing. Okay, well, that means that you need to have a list. So you need, how many people do you want to have on your list? What kind of conversion rates are you looking for? And you can get into like the boring kind of the numbers. I mean, some people they're boring, some people they're really exciting. Some people really kind of like, oh, I love to, they love to track it and to see the numbers, and then they love to A/B test it, split test it out, and to figure out what's working and when to send it and what days and what times and how many. And some people love it. It's a challenge and they gamify it, and it becomes not just another button to click. They really do take it to and those are the experts. Those are the people that really have fun with it. So once you have your goals, you define your objectives. How many of whatever is it that you want to do? So if you want to have an email list, define how many people you want to see coming into your list, your subscribe rate. Maybe you want to decrease your subscribe rate to increase. Now, this is where you start to get creative, because there's not one solution to a problem. There are many different types of solutions to a lot of these problems. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is where I think a lot of people falter. They have big goals, and then they get to this step and they're just like, screw it, I'm going over to content. And I'm just going to start making content, and we're just going to start trying to get people into the door. And so that maybe eventually some people, they're going to subscribe to our email list, or they're going to like my fan page, or they're going to follow me on Twitter or something like that. And they miss these other parts because this is the grind. See, we say hustle and grind, and I'm aware of this, and I make fun of it all the time. Trust me. But when I say this is the hustle, this is the grind, this part is the grind part. You have your big goals. You've decided, oh, this is excellent. This is what I want. I love it. And then you get to define it. And this is where it gets hard, because there are so many options, and you don't know what is 1,000 a good number? Is 100 a good number? And I think you need to have the objectives, those tangible goals, the ROI numbers that you're going to be able to figure out on the other end to see, did I actually succeed? And this is where we get into that next step. Once you have your goals and you've decided that, this is how we're going to define the goal. When I've done this, I know that I've reached that goal. But then we have to do this. We have to set in motion. We have to set the plan. And this is going to be really important, because once you have decided those things and this is how you're going to reach it, now we got to put something in place. And being able to set a plan takes time, and it takes dedication. You cannot do this literally overnight. Now, maybe the aspect of maybe the aspect of doing more content, that's going to come down the road, but we have to set your plan in motion. And there's a lot more to be said for this, okay? There's a lot more to be said when it comes time for to now put your objectives into a tangible plan. So let's talk about, how do you do that? How do you set your plan? Well, one, you have to decide that you're going to have one. All right? You have to be able to decide that you are actually going to create a content plan, that there's going to be some consistency to it, and those types of things. Okay? But let's break this set your plan down a little bit more. And to me, my first objective is going to be this: know your people. How many of you guys actually know who's your audience? How many of you guys actually know this? Not many people do. They skip over this, or they just take a guess, or they self-identify. Well, I like my content, so everybody that's just like me, all of my friends are going to like my content. Guys, it doesn't work that way, especially in business. And when you create a piece of content, it needs to be geared and really aimed at a specific customer with a specific need. And this is so basic. We've talked about this, and this has been shared and shared and shared. But again, I am going to tell you, this is where a lot of people, they skip over this part and just say, well, I'm just going to make content, and whoever shows up, shows up. And that's okay for a hobby. It's not okay for a business. It's not okay when you're actually trying to do something that's definable, that gets you right on track with hitting some of your business objectives, with trying to gain sales and customers. And so now that you know, take the time to know your customers. And now that you know your customers, and I'm going to tell you, probably one of the best platforms to do this on is actually Facebook. And a lot of people are like, oh gosh, like I don't want to have to keep going back to Facebook. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's the right way to go when you're trying to find it. Google Analytics is there's good. It's not as intuitive. It's not as well built out. But I'm going to tell you this, that if people are social and people, you want to get to know what their likes, what their dislikes are, where they want to go, and what they want to view, you need to go to Facebook and use their ad platform, and you're going to find a lot of what they're doing and what they're interested in. Now, having said that, once you know who your customers are, I'm going to say this: know your competition. Who else is in the space that you're doing? Who else is doing what you're doing or looking to do? And I'm going to say this not as don't just do this research as a way to delay action. Know your competition. So if you know they're doing it big, doing this one topic, maybe that's not the right topic for you. Maybe you need to find where the market is hungry for a solution. Okay, maybe they're tired of the how to go live on Facebook posts. Maybe it's a how to use OBS in your Facebook post. Maybe it's maybe they're tired of the perfect theme for Instagram. Maybe it's how to change your theme on Instagram. Maybe it's the in between. It's the underserved markets. Because in a social media landscape that is so busy and so it's so noisy, you have to have a message that's honed, that's very particular for a particular kind of audience. And you may be able to do the one, but if you have content but you can't connect it to an audience, you're going to feel like a failure. Okay, and I say that very compassionately, because this is, and I said this is the grind. This takes time. Sometimes it is trial and error. But you're going to, once you start to practice it and you find what works, then that's when you repeat. Until then, you need to trial and error it. You need to figure it out. You can shortcut it and ask an expert and hire somebody to do it, but that's different, right? So once you guys figure it out, then you know your competition, you know maybe where not to go, or maybe you say, look, I see what they're doing there. I think we can and will do it better, and we will outshine them. But I'm going to tell you, for the most part, a lot of smaller businesses, that's not the right way to go. If you don't have a big marketing budget, don't do that. Don't try to go head to head with somebody else. If you're trying to make funny, offbeat videos that appeal to, don't compete with BuzzFeed. Maybe complement some of it, but find where they're not serving their audience and do that. So then I want to bring in this. Okay, we have how many? We have too many platforms, and we're going to say too much content. I think this is another thing that everybody I think that is a problem that they suffer from. How many platforms should we put our content on? Should we be on Periscope and on YouTube and on Twitter, on Facebook? We should be on Twitch, and we should be on all of these channels in order to make sure that our content gets the widest audience. But in doing so, we are on so many channels, it's very hard to monitor. It's very hard to keep up with. Doing Snapchat stories, Instagram stories, Messenger Day, WhatsApp, right? Being able to do that, a daily vlog. I mean, you become a full-time content creator and actually not a business person. You're all you're doing is just making more content so that people can see you. And that it's a trap. Oh, well, I have to make more content in order to be able to, for more people to be able to see. And I'm telling you right now, it works for a little bit and then you burn out. And this is the end of most people's story. This is where they stop because they're tired, they're not getting the results. And so they're trying to make too much content on too many platforms. And this is really super frustrating for a lot of people, okay? And when they haven't been able to get those results that they want, then when they're not able to make sure that what they're doing actually connects with their audience, they just make more content in hopes that, again, it will just draw in more people. And it just doesn't work that way anymore. That's content marketing 2015. More is better. Now it's more concentrated. It's very specific questions being answered. You're solving very specific problems for your audience. And once you have figured those out, you know your goals to your objectives, you set a plan in place, you know what platforms you're going to be on and what type of content that they want, and be very specific with it, and don't feel that you need to create new content, just new content every single day of the week or every hour of the day. Too much content, too many platforms. Pick one or two platforms. Pick a particular kind of one or two kinds of content that you know shares the message and that will help you reach your goals. Then you get to the content plan. Then you get to now when are we going to share it? When are we going to go out? When are we going to post? How often are we going to post? Post frequency, times of day. What kind of the content are we going to get into? And this is where most of you that are watching this and have listened, this is actually where you jump to. You say, look, I want more followers, so I'm just going to create more content and I'm going to post it, and then you skip right to here. And you've missed all of these other steps that are absolutely crucial and that help you decide and help you understand what's the kind of content you need to be posting and when. So in light of that, next week, we're actually going to be talking about how to put together in a very tangible, I'm going to work on this, guys. You hold me accountable. Next week, we're actually going to do and build a content calendar, either live or I'm going to show you the steps on how to do it. All right. And we're going to show you how to actually build a content calendar that does and will fit you and what you need. Because without it, you're just posting and hoping to God somewhere along the line that someone's going to see your content. And again, now you've done all these other steps, made great content, you know who and how, but you're just not connecting with them. You're not getting in front of their eyes. So next week, that's what we're going to be talking about. And we'll be doing that live. And so anyway, but I wanted to encourage you guys, if you haven't already, go back and think about these steps. And I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe it's about 5 steps. And I don't mean to oversimplify it, but I want to keep it in categories that are easy to follow, that oh, okay, I need to find the goals. I need to define my objectives. It's okay to set a plan. And the plan does not have to be a 50-page business plan, marketing plan, social media content. It doesn't have to be. It really can just be one sheet of paper. And we could maybe even do that live next week. Talk about, okay, how are we going to put this content plan together? But I want to put it together in a way that you'd be able to follow and replicate easily so that you can actually focus on the fun things so that you can keep yourself going and not suffer from burnout, content burnout. So having said that, guys, I really hope that you were able to enjoy and follow along today. If you haven't already, you can like this fan page. You can go over to jonathantripp.com. You can sign up for our email list, and we're going to be sending that out. Let's see here. What else? Oh, yeah. I almost always forget. Guys, this program really is produced by it's produced by VitMug. If you haven't already, you can go over to vitmug.com. You can follow us there. Sign up for their email newsletter, and you're going to get some different updates and things like that from us as we roll out some new features and some new services in the coming weeks. And I really hope you guys really enjoy that. So having said that, there's a lot to be said for when we do things right and when it connects with our customers. So guys, thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great week. Now, do not forget, and I'm trying to roll down here. I'm pinning the comment right now. If you haven't already, you can go over to aftershow.davidvaughn.live. And apparently you'll get lots of treats this way. So if you go over there, or if you really want to, you can actually just watch on fblive.davidvaughn.com. That's where the after show is. Make sure you guys do join us. And I pinned the link in the Facebook video. So click on click on the after show video on the after show link, and you guys will be able to join us there. All right, guys. I cannot wait to see you. I will, as we close out the show, hang out. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys soon, okay? Bye.